EA Sports.
It's time for Madden NFL 19, which is the latest entry in the long-running football series, obviously, simulation of American football. It's got all the teams, it's got the full licenses of the NFL, and we're playing this on Xbox One X, which is bringing a 4K resolution and HDR support, and stunning visuals as the Frostbite engine continues to grow and amaze on the platform with this latest year. It's quite impressive visually. Yes, it's a very lovely looking game, and you're going to see that in a sec as we show off some different weathering conditions and some gameplay. First off, they've got a brand new menu. I like it way more than the past style where it's like a bunch of squares. It was awkward. Just make it simple. Just make it pleasing. Just a couple tabs, nice and easy going. Way better right off the start. You got your settings and everything like that on the far side. So first off, they got their kind of like meld. It's just telling you what's up. Then there's the Longshot, which is the story mode. We're going to talk a bit about that once we get into regular gameplay. We've got Ultimate Team, obviously. The microtransactions, the cards, the complex teams, and everything like that. Typical fans of that will enjoy the improvements, the minor changes and tweaks to that experience. Obviously, there's franchise mode. Build a team. You can do cloud. You can do offline, whatever you'd like. Invite your friends. There's some extra little features in that one. And, of course, exhibition. So this is where you have your play now, your online head-to-head, your skills trainer. They have some really intense skill trainers available in this one, which is quite something. So yeah, we're going to jump into Ultimate Team. I've unpacked some cards, and I've got that going, but we're not going to play it. I just wanted to show off what is going on here. So there's challenges, solo battles, seasons, different levels, new ways to earn things. Obviously the stores so that you can buy coins and stuff for real money. Special offers. You can also auction off players too if you'd like. 5 ticket events, the currency and everything like that. Pretty typical, pretty straightforward. Unopened packs, so you go and you open up your pack and then you get that fancy thing and it's like, oh, you get all these cards and it's like, oh wow, cool. Look at all these guys. Yeah. I don't know, I'll pick this guy. And all this other stuff that pops up. Alright, let's get to the actual gameplay here. So with this being football, they're trying to aim for realism, and they've actually done a pretty good job this time around of continuing to build towards that. It's a little bit, still a little bit awkward as far as players kind of interacting. Oh, we need an easier team than that. I want to look good out there, right? Yeah, let's do it. So yeah, basically, players are still a little bit awkward clinging into each other, but I think generally they've made some really good improvements to the experience, just in terms of their new real player motion. Well, it's not new, but it's definitely enhanced this time around. And you're getting a lot more of an intense kind of movement system as far as passing or, kind of deking or interacting with each other. There's so many options to kind of the ways you throw the ball, the way you interact with things. It's the same presentation, but this one is fully set up for basically being Xbox One X enhanced. Last year we got a late update to the game that kind of improved the visuals and stuff, but now it's like fully developed with it in mind, and we're seeing that really come into play because this actually does look really good, and it does look like a noticeable improvement over the experience last time around. I also like how the jerseys seem a little bit more damage oriented. You can see little splots of where they're getting dirt and so forth, and grass especially. You'll see that more towards the halfway point. I think this is a good way to showcase it. I play as the Broncos because the old man likes the team, so whatever. Yeah. Obviously, presentation's sort of still the same as usual. I mean, the look. I think the HDR is really nice in this game. It's implemented well. And it's the visuals that really do amaze me. Now, you're seeing a little bit of the awkwardness. What I'm talking about is when they're like clipping into each other, rubbing into each other. I did notice, and I don't know how new this is, there were some nice interactions with players on opposite teams kind of going at one another, so that was kind of cool. So in the next play here, we're going to kind of let it run just so you can see how the cinematics actually play out in this. Oh. Yeah, the crowds fairly similar, but they are making them a little bit more randomized, because you do see a lot of repeats, but they're not a huge eye draw, so you're not exactly stuck to them. I mean, the crowd does look really good. They look dense. They've got signs. They're doing things. That's been one of my favorite aspects of this generation, is the fact that you know, the immersion has definitely increased a lot in the stadiums. Whoa, you kind of like even try to stop that guy for me? Even on the sides, you see like the cameras and Gatorade bottles and that. And the refs doing power slides. Another huge focus and change up this time around is celebrations are like really easy to pull off, really push. There's a ton of them. So I guess the league kind of finally eased up on that. I always understood they weren't allowed to do that kind of thing. Oh, there we go. So it is nice to see that being present if you want to celebrate in some kind of funky way. Obviously, it's not like Blitz the League, but, you know, it's not bad. So I split it here. No, that didn't work out too well. But you see the like players kind of like in the bottom corner there, you know, bottom left, they were kind of hugging and pushing each other aside and stuff. So it's nice to see a little bit more interactions with the players, because that feels more natural as, you know, what happens after plays, and especially in just general sports. Oh, trying to get to be there. I think, you know, as far as visuals go, the quality is just really good on this one. Seriously, I keep going back to it, but I'm very impressed by the textures and the level of detail and the lighting. It feels very natural. They just need to finish off smoothing a little bit more of the player animations, and I think they're really going to hit that perfect mark, you know, a few years down the line. So this is also very much a complete version of Madden, I'd say, because when we started this generation, all the sports games really went back to 0. Last gen was a huge advancement as far as, you know, kind of proving realism, adding new features and modes, and then when we went to the next gen, that sort of fell apart, and they got rid of all the modes in most of the games. Madden wasn't quite as hit as some of the other ones, because I play a lot of NHL, being from Canada, and that game was just like picked apart going into the next gen. Did not mean to do that. Did not mean to do that. I was looking off the screen. But like, just look in the, because I guess we didn't actually, I completely forgot to just let the cinematics roll. But I mean, it looks really good, nice and clean. You know, aside from the jerseys, which are starting to get darker, you see the pants and everything like that too, getting marked up. Very dynamic. And go. So now we're going to talk about the Longshot. A battle for that. Oh, crap. So the Longshot is the story mode, and it continues the events of last year's. And it was really boring. Like, I understand these aren't the most amazing displays of like a narrative or anything like that. Like, it looks so dopey to the left of like the camera guy, but anyways, it's on one side of the things you have a struggling quarterback trying to make it onto the Cowboys. I'm just not doing well in this part. And then like on the other side of that, you have a singer that's got stuck with like a younger girl that he's taking care of. I don't want to spoil anything, because I'm sure people are so intense about the narrative experiences of their Madden, but it was just boring, and you hardly play for at least like an hour and a bit. You're just coming in for moments, and then you're forced to do certain things in these moments, and it doesn't quite lean into helping you do those moments, so it just becomes really boring. I was just bored out of my mind. I kept pushing through it to try to get some achievements at least, but I was just like, this sucks. Yeah, I was not a fan of the story in this at all. The way they presented it was just not that interesting, and yeah, I can't say I was a fan. Even like the characters, they don't look that great, and yet they're focusing so much time on the cinematic moments. of when they're like chatting. There's a long conversation where this guy's just sitting behind a truck and it's just like, hey, hi, and they're just dropping exposition on you, and it's like, really? Huh. You think there'd be some football in my football narrative, but whatever. I thought some of the best parts were actually them trying to kind of do a timepiece where they're kind of going back in time a bit in the regard to they do flashbacks. I'm just not getting this done. I need to get this in here. So they go and you'd like, you know, you'd see like an old... Nah, we go for it all. You'd see an old school look at basically them playing on the field and their old team and stuff like that. Or they'd have moments where they're out not playing professional and they're just kind of enjoying their time together. And I thought those were really well done, just because it presented something a little bit different aside from just being a superstar. Because I know the FIFA game is like super focused on you being, you know, at that high level. So it's nice to see this one kind of do something a little bit differently and make it more, you know, casual going, connecting to your roots and stuff. But I just, like, I couldn't stand it. It was so boring. Going back to that again. I would just suggest ignoring it. Oh yeah, and there's a couple different ways to play the game too. I guess I should mention that. There's the arcade, there's Real Sim, and another option. And you basically kind of get to choose when you first start what type of Madden experience you want. I like the arcade one just because, you know, I want to have... Wow, come on, guys. Have fun with it. We're going to switch over to another game. So we're jumping into a snow kind of situation, so you can see how that plays. Just kind of see how the snow physics, if they've improved at all. So yeah, it's... Also, an annoying aspect of the Longshot that I wanted to mention is that you can't really skip anything, so you're just sitting there watching these long, awkward cutscenes that you don't care about at all. And it drives me crazy. I got an achievement. Successfully fake out a defender when prompted to perform a ball carrier special move. Don't know what that is, but I'll take it. So yeah, the snow's alright in this. They still need to do some work. You're not going to be playing in the snow too much. But, I mean, it does come around. You want to see the effect of it. I really love weather in games. So that's one thing I kind of look towards with seeing realism. You're seeing that a lot more in the sports titles, and in Forza is really pushing that for driving, you know, all the different conditions and so forth. And I mean, you are trying to simulate the full sport, so... There we go, nice. And it's important to capture all the weather conditions. Oh, and all the fans are dressed up, but the fans get, like, a lot more repetitive in this one. I don't know if you noticed that crowd of, like, 8 to 10 guys all wearing that white hoodie and stuff. He was like a blue and white hoodie. I'm try a different pass this time, because I usually just do bullet ones, because I'm lazy and I don't care. You can kind of just, like, lob it. You can do on the run. You can kind of, like, lift the ball up. You can do, like, a low pass. And these are all explained quite well, actually, when you're playing the campaign. So it might be worth playing the first bit just to get a good understanding of the game if you're not too familiar with it. There's the skills trainer, but that's kind of boring. Ow. Kind of hurt my feelings. But you can see how they're like, the snow's coming down, it's not really interacting with the ground at all, which is a little bit disappointing. But you're seeing how the feet are indenting the snow. We've got some really good snow tech going on in games these days. Horizon Zero Dawn, perfect example of that. I don't mind the snow here, but yeah. Probably like, oh, we're focusing on the snow element too far, but it is a good way to see how the game handles different environments and changes. We're going to switch over to the rain in a sec too, so you can take a look at how that looks. But I kind of want to try to go for it all. Alright, so we're playing in the rain now. Overall, Madden 19 is an improvement. Definitely an improvement. Possibly, I'd say it's the best Madden they've released so far this generation. Is it the biggest in terms of like evolving the franchise? I don't really think so. But I mean, if you're just buying it so that you get another yearly roster, you're not going to be disappointed. If you're a fan of the sport and you're interested and you want to know how the game is, it's good, it's fine. It's very complete. All the game modes are there. There's a lot to do, a lot of content, a little something for everyone. My big problem really is the campaign. Kind of felt weak, not only in terms of how it was set up and how I found it boring, but just how the narrative wasn't really well structured. And they're not focusing enough on the actual sport, trying to get too much drama in there. I mean, there was like a whole long segment at the start with a bunch of people, guess on a chat show, because I've seen that at the gym, where they're just sitting there with their Microsoft services, and they're just talking about the characters as like, you know, let's get into the gameplay. Like, we want to feel the action of the sport. We want to have our character. Oh, not OP. Use the SWAT mechanic to force an incomplete pass for 50 gamer score. That's what I'm talking about. I'm on fire with these achievements. So again, like, I gotta say, the rain's kind of like really piss poorly integrated in this. like the raindrops aren't even interacting with the ground. That looks so fake. Like, even the footprints and stuff, they need to work on the rain a lot in this. I mean, football's not just played in sunny days. Yeah, we'll do the suggestion. I do like how the jerseys get damp, though. That's nice. Why didn't you try to play it off his back, man? But anyways, visually, it's an impressive game. I definitely love what they've done with the 1X enhancement on this one. I mean, last year's looked pretty good, but I really think they've taken full opportunity to really push the console a bit more and really give us some great looking visuals. Oh, look at them, they're like 6 guys. It's crazy. The long shot's disappointing. I didn't like it. I don't know, maybe some people get more out of it than I did, but I didn't think it was very well done. Obviously, all the existing modes are there. If you're interested in grabbing this for your PC, that's an option too now. I actually played that at E3 this year at EA Play, so that was interesting because I think it's been about a decade that people have been waiting for a PC version, so that's nice. A lot of ways to play. There's good customization options there. I know we're focused on Xbox with this particular video, but I thought I'd mention it just in case you weren't aware that it is back on that platform, and that's kind of a big deal, I think. Well, wrapping up, this is the best version of Madden that they've done this generation. It's got all the modes that you want and that you need. It's got minor tweaks and improvements to them. The Longshot is an alright story that you can kind of just easily play through in a seamless way. And obviously you've got your online multiplayer to compete against others. You've got your standard quick plays, local plays, and online franchises and regular franchises, and everything you know from Madden.